This isn't an ordinary trip. MadS is a Shudder original from France. It was written and directed by David Moreau. I wonder if he has his own island off somewhere where he's making all kinds of crazy creatures. If you get that reference, you're a horror fan. Hopefully, not like the 1996 debacle that featured so much bad stuff. That being said, let's get back to MadS. That's M-A-D with a capital S for maximum shock. Because this is a spin on a particular horror subgenre that I'll get into in the spoiler section. But David Moreau has done some horror projects and some other projects, including the US remake of The Eye, which I hated. That wasn't his fault, but man, they trusted Jessica Alba to try and do dramatic acting. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. So basically, an 18-year-old French lad who has a nice Mustang, a French Ford Mustang, drives faster than any French Ford vehicle out there. Seriously, it's like a 50s, 60s Mustang. It's actually astonishing just how well kept that is. But anyway, Roman, whatever, it's Romain, so I'm just going to say Roman because it just sounds better. If I say Romain, it's going to be like a head of lettuce wandering around, which actually might have been even funnier. Nevertheless, he's an 18-year-old lad getting ready to celebrate his birthday. He goes to La Dealer, that is the actual name in the credits of the character, and he tries a new drug. Damn you, Huey Lewis in the news. You want people to try a new drug, one that won't spill, one that don't cost too much, or come in a pill. He snorts it up and things don't go all that well from there because he's high. He drives right into the title reveal. Not quite as good as the Evil Dead Rise title reveal. It has to be one of the best title reveals. In fact, I need to rewatch Evil Dead Rise, as I'm going to make it basically a yearly Halloween tradition. Nevertheless, basically he picks up an injured woman, and then things get really, really weird. That's about all I can say as far as not getting into spoilers. But it does do the one continuous take format, or style as it were. It's not actually done in one continuous take. I would be impressed if they somehow managed to do this in one continuous take. But they edit it properly to where it's probably a few long takes. And it just follows Roman as he's going through it, shall we say, after something occurs. And yeah, it's a nice spin on a certain subgenre that I'll get into in the spoilers. Now, if you've read any other reviews, you know. But just in case you guys haven't, I will say that this dives into the goopy, insane horror and really does have that unraveling feeling of just like, okay, no matter what you do, no matter how fast you try to run, no matter how hard you try to escape, you can't escape this like you're Kenny Omega about to do, the forward roll and then a moonsault and everything. If you are not a wrestling fan, you have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. Even if you are a major wrestling fan and you haven't paid attention to wrestling the last few years, you still might not know. Nevertheless, MadS is very good. Very, very fucking good. It took a little bit to get into. I wasn't so sure at first. It took a little bit to get used to the style. But it features fairly good acting. It does feature some nice gore, some nice surprises, and really does put that spin on that particular subgenre. You probably can guess by reading the description, but I'm keeping it, again, as spoiler-free as possible. I do want to shout out the performances. The actor that played Roman, he did good. The actress that played Julia, she was good as well. And yeah, there's actually some good. They don't offer a ton of explanation, but just enough so you know, okay, this particular thing has been happening for a while. So it is on Shudder if you want to check it out. This is one of the best Shudder originals they've done all year, maybe of this entire decade. Between this and Infested and The Animal Kingdom also, that's not on Shudder. The French have been churning out some pretty goddamn good movies as far as horror and everything goes. This isn't quite as good as Infested, but it's really up there with some of the best of a particular subgenre. That being said, I'm going to get into spoilers. Good gore, good pacing, and it doesn't overstay its welcome at about 85 minutes. It's insane. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. It's a zombie subgenre. That's what it is. That's basically it. It's like a 28 Days Later model in French, except done better. 28 Days Later, I need to go back and rewatch at some point, and 28 Weeks Later. And then they're going to be doing 28 Years Later. By the time they get to 28 decades later, we're all going to be dead, or undead, as it were. So basically, Roman picks up this person that's all wrapped up, has her, she's all fucked up. That's Somebody drops her up, or she escapes this vehicle, whatever it is. He picks her up, and she's acting really goddamn weird. She's trying to start the car to get out because she's not doing all, or to get going, she's not doing all that well. He tries to call the cops, and let's just say that he doesn't want the cops to find him because he's on copious amounts of drugs, and also this is his dad's car. And apparently every French place, or every, place in this particular French abode, wherever it is, I don't actually know, is, it could be in the outskirts of Paris for all I know. But it has, everything is like fancy and modern and everything with, cool gates and alarm systems and all that. And yes, we do have those here, but this just looks so modern. So, it turns out that this girl is infected. There is an audio tape that she plays, a recording that mentions about body temperature, stuff like that, and retrovirus-infected blood. Well, that's always good. No, it's not. It's not good at all. Yeah, it's a zombie subgenre. She stabs herself in his car, but then ends up biting him. Also gets the blood on him. So, because she does that, now he's infected. See, it's like 28 days later, where I believe if you got a drop of blood in the eye, you freak out and that kind of stuff. By the way, one of the main actors in 28 Days Later was also in Joker Folie à Deux. Poor guy. Poor goddamn guy. Nevertheless, so the one-take model does take a bit of getting used to, but I do like the guerrilla warfare camera style that they're doing. It's a bit grainy. It's a bit weird. The actress who played Anna, okay, she was fetching, I'll say that much. There were some pretty French women in this that, or at least in their mid-20s to possibly like 30s. I'm not necessarily certain, but there's a bunch of young, pretty people at this particular party. Is Roman tripping? Is this real? Oh no, this is very much real, and it unravels quickly. He's changing. There's certain stuff from this audio log, subject C39, implying that, okay, do we just go back to C1? Do we go back to A1? Do we go to A24? If A24 had done this, it certainly would have been interesting. So the party, he is losing it. There's a girl named Julia that apparently he has been sleeping with. They also kind of imply that Anna has been cheating as well. So I don't know why anybody gets upset at the other, or why one gets upset at the other for cheating. But the alarm starts tripping. His dad's on a trip and coming back soon. And he is in a race against time before the police get there. Because this infected person is still in his house. Still in his goddamn house. I believe her name is Noah. Lakowski, Yovel is the one name I could come up with. That was the one that was like listed as far as like somebody's, character. And she actually can pull off the look of like, like being not a horror icon, but a horror character and stuff like that. I actually think she has the perfect face for horror. And I mean that with respect, because you can mold and shape her, and she can do a lot of the stunts and stuff like that. Not that everything was necessarily the most creative, but she pulled off the part well. And yeah, he's all in a stupor. He's not doing very well. And then, oh yes, all of a sudden, soldiers show up with skull masks and everything. Because, yeah, they're out there trying to stop this infection from spreading. Because C39, seemingly, Noah, whatever, got loose. And she's not the only one, because things quickly unravel and quickly get fucked. Anna is infected. Because it doesn't just take blood, it also, it could just be kissing, because she made out with Roman at one point, and so did Julia. And even though, yes, you could get the blood, you get saliva, whatever in you, it's not working out too good. It's really not working out too good. Now Roman gets taken away, so now we follow Anna. And Anna unravels very, very quickly. She attacks a woman in an orange dress and everything in a weird tunnel. I don't know who the hell that was. And then she tries to steal a guy's bike and just yeets him. I am a near 44-year-old guy saying the word, he just yeets him over the railing. Railing kill. And then she's calling Julia to basically meet her and everything, even though she's mad at Julia for fucking her boyfriend, or at least trying to, or whatever. And Julia apparently is pregnant, possibly by Roman. They don't really get too far into that. That's kind of where Infested, I think, did a better job with the characters than this does. And Grand Infested was a little bit longer, but not by much. But we get a scooter ride and we get all this blood and everything, and she's like tearing at her and doing all this, and Julia's losing it, just snapping like crazy. Gradually snapping back from being a zombie to back to being human because the virus is taking over. Julia then wants to get home to her mom because her mom's in a wheelchair, apparently. And an apartment that's getting renovated. Apparently everything is getting renovated because there's sheets, all this plastic stuff going on. And then she gets trapped in an elevator, gets free, and then Julia is still stalking her. Julia apparently attacked somebody. Attacked the mother, attacked the sister, we're not actually totally sure. But then the soldier shows up again. And the soldier ends up shooting Julia. Unfortunately, the soldier gets bitten. Whoever that soldier is, whoever that woman is, holy shit, she's cute. Good grief. But she says, if you haven't been infected, if you didn't get any of the blood in you, then you're okay. I personally think that Julia is infected, and she's just going to spread this further. But the soldier ends up capping herself to avoid spreading the infection further. And then we roll credits as Julia basically just freaks out as France apparently is on fire because there is fire raining down from the sky and all these sirens and all this stuff going on. And oh yes, there's this theme about lights. Are you attracted to these lights? Are you attracted to all this stuff? So there's neat little tidbits. I wouldn't mind them expanding on this. I don't know if you could and capture the same magic, but yeah, pretty goddamn good. Even with the cliches and maybe a little bit more explanation needed. I really enjoyed the frenetic pace. I enjoyed the stuff about this, and even though it's not perfect for the entertainment factor, and the fact that it had some, really good atmosphere and some really good gore, I'm going to give it an A+. It had some really, really good shit to it. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle, and letterbox handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.